Welcome to the Cross the Line Podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today's episode is sponsored by Charlene's Home Cooking on 1136 East Blackstock Road in Moore, South Carolina. Charlene's Home Cooking is a family restaurant that cooks like grandma with fresh veggies, meat, and meats cooked to order. You can do a meat with 2 sides, a meat with 3 sides, or a veggie plate along with sweet tea, Kool-Aid, and lemonade. Cakes, pies, and cobbler are also available for dessert. She wants you to feel at home anytime you visit, so make sure you stop by on Monday, Thursday, and Saturday from 11 to 6. And also Friday. And on Sunday, she's open from 11 to 7. Everything is fresh and baked from the heart, and she would love to see you come in and visit her sometime. So anytime you guys are down that way in Spartanburg, South Carolina, make sure you guys go check out if you ever come that way. But joining me today, I have a special guest. She is in the community basketball development department for the Atlanta Hawks, and today I'm sitting with Miss Anma. I don't want to butcher it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I know you told me Anma Onyeuku, but I'll call her Ao. How you doing?
I'm good. It's Onyeuku. You almost said
Onyeuku. It's all good. Thank you for joining me though. But just to tell people watching how we actually met, it was actually last October, November. We were at the that high school tip off, and right when we get ready to leave, I asked, did y'all have any more T-shirts? And you told me y'all were out, so I was like, okay, that's cool. But then what I really appreciated was you went out your way to actually go get me a T-shirt, which you didn't even have to do that. So ever since then, I was like, yeah, man, you're all right with me. So
I appreciate it.
So I appreciate you doing that. But for people that's listening, tuning in, tell them exactly what you do.
So with the Hawks, like you said, I'm in a community development program. So we do camps and clinics all over the city. We do camps and clinics all over the city of Atlanta. Basically just use basketball to connect with kids from 8 to 16.
Mm-hmm.
So the summertime is like our busiest time. We have camps basically on every area around the city. And it's Monday through Thursday, all day, just basketball. Having fun, contests, games, just any way that we can incorporate basketball into their lives and just connect with them.
You actually have a background in basketball, right? In sports.
Mm-hmm.
So where did you play ball at?
I played my college ball at Hofstra University in New York.
How was that experience for you?
Well, growing up in Georgia and then going to New York, I didn't appreciate the snow, but I got through it. It was the coldest 4 years that I've had since I was a kid.
Was Hofstra D1 or what?
Yeah, it was D1. Mid-major.
Okay. And after college, you went. I saw that you played a little bit of ball in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you play in Spain?
3 years.
3 years. And what was that experience like for you going to play in Spain? I know it had to be a culture shock, but how would you describe it?
It was cool. It was a quiet time for me. More so just like I was trying to listen and just, adapt to the culture and try to learn the language as much as I could. I took Spanish in high school, but once you get over there, it's a completely different
Mm-hmm.
language, different dialect. So I learned as much as I could while I was there, and I started to understand it much better towards the end of my career.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was just a great experience. I mean, to live and play in another country, and like you said, adapt to the culture, eat different food, just travel to different places. I saw a lot of Spain, and it's a beautiful country.
So when you your senior year, did you already know that you were headed? There was your option after your senior year in college, or were you still looking?
No, it was more of a dream. It wasn't like I knew for sure. It was just like that's what I wanted to do next. And after my last game of my senior year, then we were able to talk to agents. I couldn't find an agent for the longest time. So while everybody else had an agent, was getting signed, I was still waiting just to get that first step of finding somebody to help me find a team overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was stressful. That was a very, very stressful time. But I just kept working out, kept my faith up, and God blessed me with somebody who wanted to take a chance on me. Found my first team and just got moving from there.
So was the WNBA an option, or was it just kind of like, you say you didn't have an agent, was it just like, okay, I'm going to have to, in order for me to get to the WNBA, I have to go to Spain? Was that pretty much the only option at the time?
Yeah, pretty much understood that. I was kind of undersized in my position. I started out as a 5.
Really?
Yeah, I grew high school and the first 2 years of college, I was a 4-5. By the time I ended my career, I was 2-3. So I had to completely switch the way I played and learn different ways in the later period than other people. So with the WNBA, I was kind of behind in that sense.
Right.
So going to Spain, it gave me that opportunity to get professional experience, But towards the end of that career, it's just like I've been playing basketball so long, so I kind of wanted to see what else I could do as far as staying in sports, but not necessarily playing.
Right. And how long when you were in Spain? How often were you? How often did you get to come home when you were in Spain?
Christmas and then the summer.
So was that kind of what factored into you kind of saying, you know what, I want to get away from it, or what was it?
Yeah, I mean, through college it was the same thing. Christmas and then maybe spring break and then the summertime. So over a span of like 6 to 7 years, I was just...
We'll pause for 1 second. Let's pause for one quick second and we'll be right back. It's the Cross the Line Podcast. All right, so welcome back to the Cross the Line Podcast. We had to pause for a quick second. So Ayo, I was about to call you Ayo, my bad. But Ayo, I believe we left off where you said what you talking about you playing in Spain. What were you saying about what made you finally decide to come back home?
I was saying like over a span of like 6 to 7 years, I've been away from home and coming back, and you know it's all because of basketball in school. And towards the last month of my last season, I kind of just wanted to venture out and see what else I was going to do. I've been playing all my life, and that was my dream. It was to play basketball, but I knew I needed to find out what else I was going to do after that, because you can't play forever.
So they basically had you on contract for about 4 years, and then you kind of...
No, I went year to year, so
Year to
each
year?
contract was just 1 season, and then after that, we visited. So.
Okay. And do you still get that itch to play today, or is it kind of like, I'm just done with basketball now?
Well, that itch never leaves. It's constant. But at the end of the day, like, I stopped for a reason, so that's how I settled that. But at the end, I mean, I play around the city in like adult leagues with some of my old teammates from high school and friends around the area, so that's kind of how we fulfill that.
All right, so you come back from Spain. What's like the first thing that you do when you get back home, as far as work-wise? Is it kind of like trying to figure out what's your next move, or did you already have that plan, or what was the first move you did? What did you do when you came back from Spain?
So like the last 3 weeks that I was there, I was on Indeed every day, just trying to find something so when I came home I wasn't behind. And that's when I found the Hawks listing. So I applied for it, and you know I was just hoping that something would pop from that. Once I got back home, like as soon as I landed, I checked my email and I had an interview set up. So like the next week I went to that, and then everything just kind of fell into place from there, and started that summer.
How long have you been with the Hawks?
It's my fourth season. Third or fourth. I think this is the fourth season coming up.
How has it been since you've been there? Like, what's that experience been for as far as working with the Hawks?
Amazing. Like, this is one of the dopest things that I do. I meet and get to train like all these amazing little athletes, and even just get to introduce basketball to kids who have never played before. The parents just kind of sign them up for the camp and want them to be around other kids, and then they end up leaving just wanting to dribble all the time and take a shot every time they touch the ball, and like that's amazing for me. So, because that's how I felt with basketball as a kid. So to introduce that to another child is kind of, you know, passing it on.
Do y'all have any kind of interaction with, as far as the players, or is it strictly the kids? Because I remember for me, my internship with the Panthers, basically what I did was I was helping people find their seats in the stadium. So pretty much, like in the stadium, sometimes you would see the players, but necessarily the staff didn't really want you to say too much to them. But when I had on my other internship I had, we actually had a chance to go in the locker room and interview the players and talk to them. But that particular interview, when I was working for the Panthers, we pretty much just helped people find seats. We didn't have much interaction with the players. So do you guys have any interaction with them?
So maybe 1 or 2 players will come and like make an appearance at the camp. Kids go crazy. The last camp we had 2 of the rookies, Cam and Bruno. So I mean that was like the craziest time. Parents were all there, they loved coming up, trying to take pictures and everything. But depending on the event, like they might have 1 or 2 players come in, and you might speak to them. You know, they not gonna have a conversation with them because they're there for a purpose. But they, you know, they're all nice guys. You know, you have a quick little conversation with them. And after a while, they'll be your face.
You guys have to be there for game days, or how is that as far as game
We have
days?
a clinic. Sometimes we have events like 2 hours before the game, we'll host a clinic for the kids. So we'll do drills with them, put them through games, and then they get like the kids get a free ticket to the game, and the parents get like a discount ticket or something like that. But
Is everything home based, or do they take you guys on the road, or is it pretty much just strictly just home games doing those events?
It's strictly based out of the city.
Okay.
But last year we got some of us got the opportunity to go to the All-Star weekend with the junior NBA. So they're associated with that. I got to go to Charlotte, and then
Which is not too far anyway.
no, not at all. And it was just, I mean, once again, amazing experience. So just continuing to use basketball to interact with new people, network, venture out, do things that I never thought would happen just regularly. So.
Just curious, at this point, what do you follow more now? I know you work for the Hawks. Do you follow more NBA basketball, or do you follow WNBA more?
NBA simply because like it's just always out there, and the WNBA is it's easy to follow. You can go to a dream game, been to those multiple times. I guess the NBA just has more drama, so you kind of stay over there.
Always. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as far as the Hawks, do they allow y'all to work any WNBA games, or is it just still y'all strictly just for the Hawks? Okay. And I want to go back to college real quick. Who would you say was the best player you played against in college?
Lady Deldon.
Deldon.
That was, I mean, 6'5" as a guard. She went through the whole team. I mean, and like I say this with respect, I tried. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was in defense, put my hand up, contested every shot. She's just that good, and I don't have a problem saying that.
She still gets buckets
She
now.
is like it's ridiculous. So that was honestly top 5. She's number 1.
So, who do you idolize in basketball? Who would you say was your idol?
Growing up, it was Scottie Pippen.
Scottie.
And then as I got older, I had an older cousin that played basketball as well, and he was kind of one of the reasons I kept playing. Because going through college, as an athlete, you go through a lot, and it kind of gets to the point where you start to question like if you really not even made for it, but like if you want to continue. It's just a lot of stress, and sometimes it gets to you. But my sophomore year, the end of my sophomore year, when I was feeling like that, season was over, I was about to go home, and he sent me a copy of his highlight tape from college. He'd been out for a little while, but he was just like, yo, check this out. Like, and I watched it, and it was ridiculous. Like, I had never got the chance to see him play because we grew up in different states.
What did he play in?
He went to Illinois State.
Illinois State.
And played a couple years overseas. But once I saw that tape, I was just like, there's no way that I'm gonna let you be the only one in the family that's shining like this. I want to be right there with you. So that was like the little pop that kept me going and helped me sustain my hard work.
Do you feel like the stress you were talking about was because you had to play ball and practice and go to class, or what's like the most stressful part about being a college athlete?
Yeah, time. There's just, once you realize there's not enough time of the day, it just all piles in. It was class, and then practices would just get real heavy, especially in conference. So once you start playing teams and that's gonna build towards your record of going to the tournament, or it's packing on. And during those early years, like my freshman and sophomore year, I wasn't really playing a lot. So for me, it was more so trying to like really work on what I needed to work on so I could get into the game. And then once I got in the game, doing what I needed to do so I could continue to get on, in the next game, stay on longer. And eventually I worked my way up to being a starter, but it was just like, I need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. So.
I'm gonna ask you this question. I think I already know the answer, but I want to ask it anyway. How do you feel about college players not getting paid?
It would have helped when I was there.
Right.
This
is all a scam. It's all a scam.
I'm choosing my words very carefully with this subject, but I do think that the amount of work that college athletes put in, they should be compensated. Basketball is one thing, like, it's a 2-semester sport. Like, other sports, they might have one season in the beginning of the semester and then another season in the beginning of the semester. But like basketball, you start in October and you might not finish till the middle of March.
Right.
And you travel, road trip after road trip, and home game, road trip. It's just, you look up, the school year's over because you've been in season. Then you got preseason, then you got postseason, then you got the summer. Like I said, I didn't come home a lot. That was a lot. Right.
But I just feel like it's so unfair how the system is set up to where you guys don't get compensated for anything. And what my pet peeve is, what they'll say is, well, they're getting that free education, But so that's why we're paying, which is BS to me in my opinion, because y'all bring in all the money. And I'm not saying college athletes deserve to be millionaires, but you got to give them something for everything, because y'all don't have a time to go work a job, a part-time job to make a little bit of money, because y'all, like you said, y'all so busy. But the way the system is set up, man,
it'd be nice. I just think we committed our lives to these sports, just to get to that free college, free education.
Exactly.
So,
but y'all earned it.
Exactly.
Y'all earned it.
I mean, the gear's nice. The free
nah,
free
you
meals.
keep the gear.
I need no. I want the gear. The gear's nice.
Give me a check.
I'll take the. I want both.
Exactly.
I just feel like both should be an option. And that the bigger schools, using their images and everything like that, then you get to the pros and you get compensated for that. You make an appearance, you get compensated. And I just feel like it would help. It might help with money management and financial literacy. Teach them early, give them money, and then give them a little guidance on how they should spend it and sustain it throughout the semester.
Exactly. And I'm not saying we already know that all teams are not going to be compensated the same way, because football brings in more revenue than basketball and soccer. And
then you have the men's side and the women's side.
Exactly.
So you have teams that are, with players that aren't on full scholarships, because some sports don't allow that, as far as the teams are concerned. So there's a lot that goes into it. So if they do compensate them, they're going to have to figure out a way to make it equal across the board, but it's still going to be such a big debate. I think that's one of the reasons they haven't happened.
I don't know. So you think, so for your team, you felt like if y'all were getting paid, you necessarily felt like the starters should make the same as guys like walk-ons.
See,
I don't feel that way.
See, then that's the walk-on. No, like
I feel like they should get paid, but if you're the star, people are coming to see you. But at the same time, I won't necessarily feel like y'all all should get paid the same amount.
And see, there's a debate.
And that'll be a debate.
I feel like they sit down every time in their NCAA meetings, like, all right, should they get paid? It's like, no. And then they all have these different opinions, because you have to consider literally every piece of it. So the football and basketball, like, pay them, they're making all this money, they bring all these people to the stands, and then, lesser known teams, like the tennis team, golf team, they're like,
we'll give you something, but not what basketball and football is, because they're bringing in the money. So that's where the top money. So
if you have a men's golf team and a women's golf team, they're both doing the same thing. You look at the records, it's equal. Each person, like the stats, pretty much like along the same lines. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna pay the men more just because they're men?
I feel like you have to look at what the men bring in as opposed to what the women bring in. Just like the NBA and the WNBA. If let's say, I'm just gonna throw out a random number. The NBA brings in $100 million and the WNBA brings in $10 million. I can't give the women $50 million contracts or whatever, because they don't bring in that kind of money. Whereas opposed to the NBA, they're bringing in 10 times as much more. So I can't pay them, the women, what the men bring in. I think you have to go over.
But then it's like, okay, with the NBA, like you see all the work that's put into like everything in the background. You gotta think like all these corporations as well. They putting in that same effort with the WNBA teams. And not just the big ones like the Sparks or the Lynx, because they had money more, at least like back in the day. But like, it's everybody along the lines like giving the same type of support from the corporate.
And I don't think they are.
Yeah,
I don't think they are.
So you gotta think like, if they're not bringing in this revenue, they're not like coming up like this or whatever. The popularity might not be there. Regardless. I know a lot of people that are NBA fans. Mm-hmm. So it's just like you gotta think what's happening on the outside that they're not seeing. People see the games, they know the athleticism of these women that dedicated their lives to their sport as well.
Mm-hmm. So, and I understand, I just want to be clear, I'm not saying that the women don't deserve that kind of money, it's just when you look at it, they don't bring in the kind of money that the NBA does. That's all I'm saying. So if the NBA is bringing in 10 times as much more, I'm going off of what they're making. That's what I'm saying with like the analogy you said with the men's golf and the women's golf. Like if the men are bringing in more money, then they're probably gonna make a little bit more than the women are. That's all I'm saying.
And it's like, numbers wise, it would make sense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you have to there's just a big debate. It's just gonna continue to go. Mm-hmm. So I feel like instead of hitting all these points, it's just easier to say.
Exactly. And I think that's what they're going to continue to do. But the same way that they can figure out ways to make up these rules, like the Rich Paul rule that they made up on the fly, that they finally took it back, they can figure out a way to make
It's easier to make up rules to stop stuff.
Exactly.
But you start paying people, then people gonna come up with like, so I didn't get paid for this, and I did this while I was in school. Whereas
Right.
you're not gonna reimburse me for that. So once again, it's just easier to stop.
But I hope, hopefully in the future, it's something that they could do. But I don't know.
We'll see.
But I think it's going to take some players to stand up and say, maybe if they set out some of the like key games of the season, say no, I don't want to play this game because I feel like I should be fairly compensated. Like look at Zion Williamson. You know he brought in millions of dollars for Duke and didn't get a penny while he was there. So it's just like maybe they'll do something like that, or like we talk about all the time, and I hear people saying now was what are some of those key athletes instead of going to like a Duke or North Carolina where they went to HBCUs and put their money into a black college and those kind of institutions where they change the rules then.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be it's a debate, but it's tough to say because I don't know if those guys will want to do it. I mean, for me, I would love to see those guys do something like that, just be a trailblazer and take a different path. But
yeah, I mean the big schools always that popularity of it. You want to play in front of a big crowd. That's what I wanted as a kid. Like when I was in 8th grade, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to get older. You start really going to tournaments and just seeing stuff, taking college visits, and you just see like where do I fit, and I fit at Oxford. That's where I was.
Right.
That's where I was going. So.
Who would you say were your mentors, like growing up in these sports?
In sports, my coaches. Probably the biggest influence was my high school coach, and he's just that man was in ways very very strict. Kind of a parent away from home. I was raised a certain way, so I already had those guidelines. But as far as basketball is concerned and everything that came into training, he was the one that laid that foundation. And I kept most of the stuff that I learned from him all the way through college and my pro career.
Best advice that you've received?
Keep going. Have faith. Keep going.
LeBron, Steph, between. I say I give Kawhi number 3, AD number 4, and number 5. I'd probably say Harden, number 5, even though he don't play a lot of defense. But
I will say he's making this training thing so much fun, like trying to get these kids to realize that that's a travel.
Yeah.
I told him to do a step back and they take 3 steps.
Oh,
just like,
hardest step. He travels all the time.
As a trainer, please stop it. Like you don't know, it's a travel.
And the thing about Harden's game, he can play, man, but sometimes for me it's hard to watch him because he just dribble.
Yeah.
And 5 seconds left, step back or something.
I train kids, like I train young athletes, and they go based off what they see in the game.
Yeah.
So we're playing games in camp, and I'm like, okay, you be point guard. The kid goes down and you just pass the ball.
Just dribble.
You just know this is what they watch. So you can't be mad, but you just try to guide them to get them to understand different ways of how to get to that point.
Right.
They're not there yet. So.
But I can say it's good for that part of it, but I look at somebody like Steph, a kid who's not the most athletic, but he can shoot. If somebody else's kids can monitor their game, man. But you still need to play some defense too, though.
Yeah, but you have to get the basics of it first.
Yeah, right.
Like there's a lot that goes into like Steph knows how to still handle the ball to get that shot off.
Yeah.
If you can't handle the ball, you're not going to be able to do that. So once again, like try to teach them basics.
So that's probably I would say that's probably the hardest part of coaching a kid.
It's just that and getting them to like realize like I'm not just saying this stuff to tell you like I've played and I might not have been an all-star ball handler or I played everything but point guard, but at the same time I played with like some of the best. In my opinion, I played with some of the best basketball players, especially in college. Like my college teammates were hands down some of the most like gifted athletes that I played with.
What's the age group of those kids that you coach?
8 to 16.
16. Oh, yeah. So the older they get, the more they see it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. My last and final question, what would you say is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to use basketball to just experience as many different places and really connect with as many people as I can. Because I've done it at the age of 27. I've seen so much, like I've been to 4, 5 different European countries. Because of basketball. I was able to go to school for free because of basketball. I met all these amazing people in New York, around those states. So I just want to continue to evolve as a trainer, and just use what I've done to continue to help uplift anybody, using this music.
That's dope. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Ayo, before we get out of here, can you tell everybody how to find you or give them any kind of advice?
My advice, like the advice that I've been given, anything that you're doing, just have a reason why you're doing it, and let that drive you anytime that you feel like you're not where you want to be. Never forget what you've done. Just know that you're not quite there. Keep working. Keep going.
All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you for coming on. And also, let's thank Miss Charlene Davis from Charlene's Home Cooking again in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So you guys are around, make sure you check out. And also, thank you to my SUV TV family and Marcus Burnett for helping us get this facility together to shoot this interview. So until next time, guys, keep chasing your dreams. This is Across the Line Podcast. Thank you for listening.
How y'all doing? This is Ayo. I'm a community basketball development coach for the Atlanta Hawks, and you're watching the Across the Line Podcast.